Good afternoon and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be using a full face of underused products in my collection. Now, some of these are newer products, so I've only had a chance to maybe use them once or twice. Some are older products that have kind of gotten pushed to the back of the drawer, and just kind of forgotten about. Some are completely unused. I know one thing is the eyeshadow palette I've never actually applied to my eyes. That is sad to say, and today we're going to change that. We're going to use that product. So that's what today is, a full face of underused products in my collection. Let's get started. And just excuse my hair. I have it all curled and crunched up underneath this, so it's drying a little bit. We're going to start with facial mist. I have the e.l.f. Soothing Spray. It's the facial oil mist. I picked this up for like $1 at Walmart with the energizing mist, I think it was. And I never actually used these. I got these right before I picked up all those Milani ones. I probably shouldn't try to talk while I'm spraying this in my mouth. I picked this up around the same time I picked up all those Milani ones, and they just smelled better. They were more like what I thought I would like. This is not super oily feeling, which is nice. But it does say a facial oil mist. So I think that's why I hesitated. I think that's why I had hesitated to use it, because it says it's an oil mist, and I usually don't like that. But it doesn't separate. Like, there's that Pixie one, like the Pixie Glow Mist is like the water and then oil like sits on top. This doesn't have that. It all just looks like water. It's only bubbling on top right now because I shook it. But it just looks like water in this container. So that is actually the first time I've used that. Gave me a little glow to the skin. For eyeshadow primer, I recently purchased the ABH one, the Juvia's Place, and the MAC Paint Pot. And this kind of got pushed to the back of the drawer, the Believe Beauty eyeshadow primer in the universal shade. I haven't touched this in months. Months. So we're going to apply a little bit of this to the eyelids. See if it works now. I know that's why I looked for other ones, because I didn't like this one at the time. It was starting to crease pretty badly on me. So we will see. This is definitely an unused product in my collection right now. Need to wash some of these brushes again. I think that was a bug hitting my window. Ew. I always liked the color of this eyeshadow primer. I feel like it blends in really well with my skin. So we'll see how it looks with the eyeshadow on top. Face primer, we're going in with the Nars Tinted Glow Booster. Again, I've used this at some point, but I couldn't tell you when. I couldn't tell you how I feel about it. Wow, you get very, very little product at a time with that. So that's good. This product makes me think of all the things I hear about the Charlotte Tilbury. What is that called? Airbrush? Flawless airbrush? Oh my gosh, what is that thing called? It's gonna make me crazy now. Hollywood Flawless Filter. That is the name of what that is. This reminds me of that. I've never used it, but the concept and the way that this looks on my face, I feel like that's how that would look. You'll notice some of these are the glowier products. That's why I don't reach for them. So that was the Nars Tinted Glow Booster. It did boost my glow for sure. For eyebrows, I'm actually going to use a pomade, the Maybelline Tattoo Studio in Light Blonde. I used this a lot for a while. Actually, first, before I do that, I'm going in with the e.l.f. Shape and Stay Brow Wax Pencil. This is the only, I've used this like one time I think. This is the only brow wax pencil I have. I've seen other people use it and they kind of just go through the brows first. And the people I've seen do this do it backwards and forwards, kind of like getting them where they want them. Did they brush through with the spoolie? I don't know. Didn't really come with instructions. I'm kind of into these more clear, like set your brows up situations, and then going in with like a pomade or a pencil. So maybe this will be a new favorite for now. So that did pull out a couple of my brow hairs. That's not good. I'm going to actually go in now with my brow pomade in Light Blonde. And with a pencil, I normally like actually outline underneath. So I'm going to kind of do that here, but I don't want to fill in like... I'm not as good outlining with the pomade. I feel like it looks a little more harsh. Honestly, this feels like it's going to have better hold in the brow lift. Also e.l.f. I feel like that looks like a big hole right here. Alright, into the other brow. Yeah, this wax definitely feels like it's doing its job. And can I just say, I was on my, checking my YouTube-y stuff yesterday, and I hit like 100 subscribers. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, so thank you for those who have subscribed. And if you haven't, please do. I genuinely was like, that 100 people want to watch a video I post and hear what I have to say. I thank you. Thank you very much. That was really cool. Alright, I'm going to leave that as is, and we'll kind of see how that gel holds, if it sets, if it... I mean, it looks really nice right at the moment. Ignore the ends of these eyebrows. Like I said, they need trimmed up. Pretend that they're smooth and pointed and nice. Okay. On to more of the face. I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Superstay Activewear. This is one that I've only used one time because I just recently picked this up. This is not a forgotten about product, and so I'm going to use it now so that doesn't happen. I'm just going to take one pump of this and dot it around. I guess we'll use a brush since I didn't wet a sponge. Just going to pat this in. This is definitely setting. This foundation is definitely setting down. I can feel it, like, as I'm starting to blend it, I can feel it being a little bit more stiff where I'd already swiped it on. Alright, I've made myself a note. And if you're like me, you like office supplies, I did pick up this Sharpie pen. It's the Sharpie, what does it say? Felt tip marker pen. It is really nice. It feels like a really fancy pen, like it feels heavy in your hand. I don't know, maybe I'm the only nerd that likes that, but makeup and office supplies. I love them. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit more of this foundation and just kind of run it down my neck. Just a bit. So on here it doesn't look too bad, but in person there's definitely a line. Okay. It definitely looks a little dry. You probably can't even see my face. On like my cheek area. In the middle not so much, but like down here. Again, only maybe the second time I've used it. And I did recently declutter one of the superstays. Two of them. The shades were so bad. This is a much better shade match for me. But it may just be not a good... And when the shade is so off, like those two were, like, you're not going to like it. Even if it looks good on your skin, it's not going to look good on your skin because it looks wrong for your skin. So this was one that just, it was all the wrong shades. So this is a closer shade for me, but see, it already looks better now than it did when I was talking about it before. This is one I feel like kind of warms up to my face. So we'll see. Before I finish up the rest of the face, I'm going to move on to eyes. And I'm going to use the Glamlite Pizza Palette, this monstrosity here. We'll see if we can keep the camera in focus whilst doing this. Oop. And here's what this looks like out of the box. We have this. I have swatched this. I've swatched a couple of the shades. I've never used this palette. I've never actually applied this. I've never actually put this on. And I'm like, what? How does that happen? I've had this for a long time. But today, we're using it. Today is the day. I don't know what I want to do with it. I think we're finding out why I haven't used it. It's a little bit humongous. So let me pull this drawer out here. Okay. I think I'm going to start with the shade Pepperoni. Which is this red here. That was loud. We're going to go here. I think we're going to put that onto the outer corner, and I think we're gonna then move up to this like purple, this pinky shade. So I'm gonna put both of those on, and we will go from there. Pepperoni and ham. I'm gonna put on the eyes. That's hilarious to me. Now the Glamlite Cake Palette is one of my favorite things right now. So gorgeous. So hopefully that is red. That is very, very red. I love that. Okay. Wow. I think that's like the reddest red I have in my collection. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you use red eyeshadow, you know what I'm talking about. Some of them are a little bit more pink in their redness. Seems to be applying to that primer very nicely. I think I also need to pull out the Taco palette from Glamlite. I've not used that as a full palette. I know I've used a couple of the shades in there, but I think I'm going to make tacos for dinner tonight as well, but beside the point. Okay. I think I just want that on the outer. This is very nice. Like even in the monitor, it looks really red. That's awesome. And I'm just tapping, like I am tapping in. Wow. I really have been enjoying the Glamlite formula of the Cake palette, but it makes me want to try other ones, but maybe I should try the ones I own first, huh? Or I go crazy and buy other ones. All right. So we've got that. It's a little uneven at the moment. We're going to even that all out here in a second. I thought about going in with a pink on the inside, but there's also this hot sauce shade that's like bright orange. Very, very orange. I'm going to take the shade Hot Sauce, which is the neon orange, and I'm going to put that on the front part of my lid. Into the crease. Just using that same brush. And kind of onto the front part of the lid. I'll be honest, sometimes I don't look at it as, oh, this will be the best look. I'm like, I have to use this eyeshadow right now. That's where I'm at with this orange one. Oh, that is amazing. So there is that. Oh, looks like we're creasing a little bit here though on this inner corner already. Like right here. I don't know what that is due to, so we'll have to see. Alright, now with not much else on this brush, I'm going to dust it over the edges of the red. Like I'm barely applying any pressure. Okay, seems to be kind of removing it a little bit. Not just blending it out. So I might have to go back in with that red. But I'm not mad at that. I've never had a red show up that red on my eyes. Yeah, this seems to be the same quality as the Cake palette as of now. I haven't tried the shimmers yet, but makes me kind of hopeful that they will have more at TJ Maxx. That's where I got both of these. Is it the ice cream palette? I think it's the ice cream palette. That was the other like popular one. I'd love to try that. I'll go back into that red one more time. I just can't believe how red this red is. Like this red is the same color as my shirt. And I know this sounds ridiculous, like duh, it's red, but most reds I've used, most reds in my collection are a very pink based red. Like when you shear it out, it turns a dark, you know, pink, but like a fuchsia color. Like this is red. Like a red, red, red. I am in love with that. Now, just for the sake of using some more colors, I'm going to take this little pointed, this little, what is this? Smudge brush? What's all over the outside of this? This little smudge brush, I'm going to take this to the outer corner. I'm going to use the shade Marinara. I can hold this up. I have pepperoni, hot sauce, and I'm going to go up here to Marinara. I'm going to put Marinara in the outer corner. Let's see what this looks like on its own. Oh, yeah. It's like a purple. I'm going to turn it purple and I'll watch. I've just gone crazy about how it's red. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take Black Olives, which is the black shade next to that. Just so I don't turn it purple. Okay, we'll come back and blend that in a second. Do the same thing over here. Blending that in. Then I'm going to take Pepperoni on the same brush, that red again, and go back over that just to make sure everything stays red. This is looking fantastic. I'm going to go back into that brush I started with, into Pepperoni. Back into that red. Whoops, that was too much right in that one spot. Blending that into the orange. Okay. Woo! I'm loving the way this looks. Okay, I'm gonna go back into hot sauce. Just a little bit. Kind of just buffing that onto the front part of the lid. I mean, wow. I feel like I don't say that about a lot of palettes, but these Glamlite ones really have got me in the like, wow. Wow, wow, wow headspace. I've just been really impressed with the pigmentation in general. Like, they've just been really nice. I've wiped this brush off. I'm now going to take it over everything one more time just to make sure we're blended. Now, I have not applied my concealer or anything yet, and I keep forgetting I have foundation on. But I was watching YouTube the other day, and somebody did it this way. She put on her foundation, and then she put on her eye makeup, and then she did like the rest of her face and like cleaned it up and then went back into the under eye. And actually that's how I used to always do my makeup, because she was the first person I followed on YouTube. It's Nakia Joy. She's from Australia, and she was the first person I ever actually followed on YouTube. So fun fact if you care. So I'm gonna go in with a shimmer now. I don't know, none of these are really screaming to me. There's only 3 shimmers in here, and that is jalapenos, pineapple, and red onions. And I don't know that I love any of these. Like the pineapple I guess would make more sense, but I don't know, I'm not like feeling any of these, but maybe I'll try red onions. I feel like maybe we'll lay down like a glitter glue and go in with red onions. So let's grab a bit of glitter glue here. I still have not picked up a NYX glitter glue. I'm still working on this one. It's like half e.l.f., half NYX. Broken containers, things like that. So I'm still working on this. But I do need to go get groceries and stuff, so maybe I will grab one while I'm out. They seem to have it in stock at Ulta, but I have not seen it at Walmart or Meijer or anything. So are they discontinuing it? I'm just taking that about as far as the red. I'm going to take this giant shader brush from Sigma. The large shader, I guess, not giant shader. And I'm going to pick up some of the red onion shade and like tap that on. It's very purple. I don't know that I love it with this. I might go over this with something else. These don't feel as shiny, like as shimmery as the cake palette. So I think we might pull out the cake palette and see what we can do with that. Yeah, like the color of this, it's cute, it's fun, but I want like a little more blinginess. And this was like the brightest besides the yellow. Now see the difference? Here's the cake palette. Like look at the shimmers in here versus the shimmers in here. I don't know, there's just something lacking in those. They're just more of like a metallic, I guess. Okay. So I guess we'll go into this with, I guess we'll take lavender because it's a purple. Did I say because it's a purple? All right. So you can tell the shimmer difference. They're about the same color, honestly, this lavender shade and then the other one, but that shimmer difference there. So there is that. It's looking a little chunky on the lid at this point, like it looks a little thick and textured, but I do have a lot of shimmer on there with that glitter glue and everything. I'm gonna go back in with that brush, that fluffy brush, and back into Pepperoni. I'm gonna put that like on the outside here over everything. Blending it all together. Blending it over the purple and the black. I really like this. It's kind of funky, and I'm kind of here for it. All right, let me do a swatch of the Red Onion shade versus the Cake palette. Here's the one from the burger palette, or pizza palette I was using, and then there's the other one. I feel like you can kind of tell, like, the Cake palette one has a little more sparkle to it. Like, that one's definitely more purple, but the Cake palette has more of a shimmer. And that's what I was kind of going for, so. I'm going to take the shade Guava from this also, which looks like this. And I'm going to tap that, like, on the center here. Are we about to get out of control with all the eyeshadow? Yes, yes we are. Gonna blend the shimmer into that, like, red. Oh, I really like these palettes. Oh my gosh, no. I think that was the worst one so far. I dropped an actual palette on the floor. Let me grab that. Nothing broke. Nothing broke at the moment. Let's just set this down gently away from me. I can't wreak havoc on it. I'm gonna go ahead and do my winged liner, and do I want to do mascara right now? I don't know. We'll see. For liquid liner, I actually bought this from Dragun Beauty. I got it from TJ Maxx the other day. And I think I used it once, or I swatched it once. I don't even know if I've applied it to my eyes. But I think my problem with this was it wasn't super dark. And before I had my realization that I love my Physicians Formula liquid liner, like, so much. So let's see. Okay, it's not applying terribly. It doesn't seem to be, like, seeping into all the lines, but we'll give that a minute to see. Let's scoot up here and do the other one. See, out here it's starting to get a little crazy, like I'm having to go over it a couple of times to get it to show up, and now it's like a really thick line. So that's not cute. I guess I'll make this one match, though. I think that's the worst. It's like doing one thing, you're like, oh, I like that, and then the other side you have to, the side you don't like, you have to make it match with that. That's not bad. I think this is working better than it was in the swatches. I feel like when I first got it and I swatched it, it was kind of like, I don't know, it just didn't look really impressive. It's not wiping off. So that's good. Okay. As of right now, it's not bleeding into the inner corner or anything. I do have red eyeshadow all over my face. But we are going to put some concealer on. Dab my eyeshadow brush over one more time. My eyeshadow brush. My foundation brush. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's just keep moving. I think I'm going to go ahead and do my upper lash mascara. I normally do it at the very end, and then I have to just kind of like wait and do nothing while inevitably the mascara that I got all over my lid has to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now, and then we'll finish the face, and then I can go back and finish the lower lash line and all that. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Lash Sensational, the Full Fan Effect, and the Sky High. These used to be, well, this one was okay. I've never really fallen in love with this one. This was like an all-time favorite. I loved this since it was in old packaging. So I've really been into my Essence ones lately, like really into those. And these have just been kind of neglected. We're going to use these today. Curling the lashes. I'm going to go in with the Full Fan Effect first. Now this is the one with that kind of funky shaped wand. I usually start it like with the scoop facing my eye. And I do like one full coat like that. Really getting at the lashes. And then I go back in. And I'll usually turn it on its side. Kind of twisting it, I don't know, just kind of using it to almost comb them up. Trying to use that curve to your advantage. Let that side set and do the other side. Alright, I'm going to go in with the Sky High now. Now this I was never super impressed with. I don't know, I really don't know why this got so much hype. These are super wet mascaras, like they're getting all over my face, just like dripping down there. This is a really wet formula. The brush is flimsy. Yeah, at this stage, the way that these are looking, I would definitely go with my Essence over these. I mean, this used to be a favorite, and it's still good. Like on coat 2, I feel like this one really starts to shine. Even then, I think the Essence is just superior at this point. Okay, there is that. I'm going to let those dry. Then I'm going to comb through them and do all the things. So under the eyes, we're going to use our concealer. And that is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer in 1C and 1W. I picked these up from TJ Maxx a while ago. And I used them like constantly when I first got them. These are just kind of a pushed out of the way product. Not so much that they were never used. High points of the face. And then I'm going to go in with the other one. This one I think would be more than appropriate, like the 1W. But this one has a little more of like that peachy corrector tone, so I like that one under the eyes. Yeah, like these mascaras are so wet. Oh my goodness. I think that's part of the thing I like about the Essence ones is they're like, most of them are a little bit drier in the tube. You can work a little quicker with them. This I feel like you really have to be careful. All right, we're going to pull in the concealer brush, blend these things out. The foundation is looking pretty good. It's not looking so dry on the face. It does look a little bit patchy, but I do think part of that was adding all of it at once. I think that's a foundation I'm going to try to use, like pumping it out on a palette and then going from there, because I do think, because this side looks better where I started, and I think where it started to dry and not apply as evenly. So I feel like that was partly user error. I will be giving that one another try in a little bit of a different fashion, you know. Alright, pat this over, trying not to mix the red into my concealer. Oh no. No, 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 no. And this is what I was saying about that being really wet mascara. Okay. I think we'll add a little bit more on that side. Yeah, but see, look how wet that mascara still is. We'll go back in and fix that. But in the meantime, I'm going to apply a little more concealer over here, since I wrecked myself. Wiping that brush out though to make sure I don't have any mascara or anything in it. Let me pat the rest of this in. This is not the fullest coverage concealer. I think that's why I've been reaching for other things, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. So there's that. I'm going to clean up this mascara on the lid before I do anything else with it. And then I'm going to apply a little bit more just to the inner corner where I put all that concealer on my lashes. I definitely like my Essence mascaras better at this point, and it may just be because I don't use these a lot, so they're not as dried out as my Essence ones. So it's kind of that like double-edged sword where it's like, are they not, I don't use them because they're not good, or they're not great because I don't use them a lot. And most, I mean, let's be honest, most mascaras need that minute to dry out. The base is looking really nice without any powder on even yet. It's just looking really good. Okay. So before I powder, while this is still kind of tacky, I'm going to go in with my eyeshadow underneath. I do think I just want to mimic what's happening on the top, but I do want to be careful not to get too much like red really underneath the eyes. I'm literally going to put red underneath there, but I just want to be careful. I'm going to balance it a little bit with like a brighter color in the inner corner, because personally, if I go too heavy with a red, like all the way red and pink around the eye, I do it and I really like the look, but just be a little more aware it's going to, you know, make your eyes look a little more red. I'm going to take that just on this outer portion here, kind of meeting up with what's around the wing, but I don't want to pull this like all the way in. So then I'm going to take that hot sauce shade and pull some of that around there though. This is a different vibe than the red. Like it just has more punch to it. I don't know if you can tell. It's just not as... I almost said red, but I'm not going to say that. Because duh. Okay. I'm going to go under the eye with this bright purple, which is not where I was expecting to go with this look. And then we'll figure out the inner corner. Alright, that looks really nice. What do we think? I'm going to take hot sauce one more time. I kind of covered it with that purple. Just to get a little more. Speaking of things I haven't used in a while, this Duo Light highlight palette. I haven't used this one in a minute because I've gotten all the other BH ones. I'm going to go into this like orangey shade over here. We're going to work that into the inner corner. I'll take this orangey one. Try to get my lashes out of the way. This one that I used for like the purple. I'm gonna blend that in to the front. See a nice little blend. And go down here as well. So look at that. We even got to pull in our other unused product. Again, I definitely want more from that mascara. Like with this eye look, I feel like these are kind of duds. But we're going to continue the punishment with the mascara, and I'm going to use the Lash. I'm not going to use the other one. I'm going to use the Lash Sensational on the bottom lashes here. On to powder. For that, I pulled out the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. I haven't used this in a while. What that looks like. This actually has quite a bit of coverage, so I'm going to pick a pretty fluffy brush. I'll use this e.l.f. one. And just lightly dab this around the face. This is kind of a humongous brush. I might have to get something smaller for the T-zone here. For that I'll use this Zoeva brush. And down the center of the face. Feels nice. It feels set. Okay. For contouring, I actually pulled out the NYX blush in taupe. I don't think I've used this since I used up my last one. And this is like an old one. I've had a backup of this for a while. So it's not an... I pulled it out from my backups and put it in the drawer, and I don't know that I've ever used it since then. So we're going to tap into this. If I remember, this is like really, really pigmented. So let's go easy with this. Oh yeah, for sure. Very, very pigmented. And very, very grayish. I really like that in a contour powder. A little under the neck. Down the sides of the nose. Now, I don't usually stick to one brush for one product. Like, I kind of mix and match between the days. Sometimes I'll use this, sometimes I'll use that. I have been finding myself only using this brush for nose contouring and using only this brush for nose contouring, if that makes sense. Like, I don't use this for anything else, and I've found that this is the one I look for to kind of go down the side of my nose. So there is our contour. I like that. I've just been trying to finish the other contour powder, the Kevyn Aucoin, so I haven't reached for another one. I also used the Pixie one the other day in a video. I only have 4 contours in my drawer, and I'm trying to finish the Kevyn Aucoin. The other 3, I'm like, oh, these are really good. I need to use these more. So I'm trying to finish that one up, and we'll dig into these other ones. For bronzer, I've chosen the No. 7 bronzer, and this is in caramel. And I couldn't tell you the last time I've used either one of these bronzers. I have 2 from No. 7 in 2 different shades. I couldn't tell you the last time I picked one of these up and used it. I know the last time I touched it was when I was decluttering, and I didn't declutter it, and I need to use it. So we're going to try this one out today. I feel like these were pretty warm the last few times I used them. And I think that was kind of what stopped me. Yeah, see, that looks really warm. But this was one I ordered a bunch of stuff from number 7, like specifically. I had a couple of the powders, some of the foundations. I should have gotten the shade, I think everybody said the shade Maple was like a cooler tone. It's pigmented, but I like that. I don't dislike the way that this looks. It's not as warm as I remember, and I feel like the warmth of it goes with this eye look though. Like that looks nice. Okay. Number 7 bronzer may be coming back for the summer. Blush is next, and that is the Milani Powder Blush in Tea Rose. Could not tell you the last time I applied this product to my face. I feel like the last time I used it, or any one of these powder blushes from Milani, they were really dry, I think is what I remember. Like, so dry that even I was like, wow, that like dried out my cheek. And I feel like I had to do what I'm doing here, which is build it up, which is nice, you know, that it's not too much, but I feel like that's kind of what made it dry. So let's see if we feel the same way today. Oh yeah, I mean, you can feel like the tightness in your cheek. And I don't think I have any other blushes that do that, that are so, like I have matte blushes, but these are like so mattifying that it like powders your cheek like you've applied a setting powder to your face. And as I'm looking at this though, I don't hate that because it really is smoothing out the center of my face. But is it also making me look really dried out? I think I need to lift my mirror up. I feel like I'm looking down too much in this one, so apologies if I'm like ducked down looking like I'm looking at the floor, but I think I need to lift my mirror up a little bit. I like the way this looks. It does feel really, really dry on my face. But again, it's summertime, and for me, that means getting oily. That means getting sweaty, and I don't think I will feel this matte for long. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like in an hour I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm glad I have this matte powder blush on. That's how I think I will feel. So we will see. But that is the Milani Tea Rose blush that hasn't been touched forever. And this was one, going through to look for stuff for this video, I literally was looking in my drawer and being like, okay, oh, this feels brand new. You know what I mean? Like going on my gut instinct. And that's how I try to do most of the things when I pick them out, because if I overthink it, then I'm like, oh, well, did I think about this or that? No, like gut reaction. And I was like, I forgot I had this. This is the Bobbi Brown highlighting powder in Pink Glow. This is absolutely gorgeous. So pretty. I'm gonna kind of blend these two shades together and apply this to the cheekbones. Yeah, I genuinely was like, oh, I own this. It's like, girl, get it together. How do you forget? I feel like I said that recently in another video, that I forgot about a product, and I'm like, and this is one that I feel like you can like build it up and really have it be a bright highlight, or you can take it a little bit easier. I wouldn't say it's subtle. I wouldn't say subtle, but it's really pretty. See, I feel like that powder blush though really like got all that to be not as glowy. I really do think that that's what's affecting that, is that blush. It's a dry blush. For lipstick, I haven't even really picked anything out yet. I wasn't sure where we were going with this eye look, so let me find something there and we will do the lips. Okay, for lips, I really had a choice of a ton of things in my collection. I don't wear a lot of different lipsticks, but I'm like, I need to get more of the blingy stuff out. I've been going a more neutral route, and I'm like, now's the time. With the bright eye looks, the nice weather out, I need to just kind of go for it. So for lips, I've pulled out this Laura Mercier lipstick. It's this kind of like reddish orange color. And normally I go a little more dulled down on the lips when I go like a crazy eye like this, but I'm kind of in the mood for a bright all around look. So that's what we're going to go for. I'm going to pull out this Marilyn Monroe Besame lip liner pencil. I've only used this a time or two as well. I'm going to go ahead and line the lips with this. I don't really have like a red orange liner. We're gonna make this work. I definitely need to put something underneath my mirror when I'm done here. Let me try this. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and fill in the lip. And there is our Laura Mercier lipstick. So pretty and so comfortable too. Like, I really like this one. Now I'm going to take my hair down, probably change this shirt, and I'll be back with the finished look. Alright, and here we have the finished look. My hair is still very wet, so we'll just try to fluff this up a little bit. I am loving this. And somebody is mowing, so maybe we've caught it at the tail end of the video this time instead of in the middle. So let's move this along. So here we have the look using very underused products in my collection, and these will probably be making some more appearances. These are fantastic. I don't think there's one thing on my face right now that I'm like, I should have left it in the drawer. The eye look, the lips, coming out of the lip line a little bit, but other than that, I am in love with this. I feel so summery. I do feel like I need a little bit more blush. So for that, I think I'm going to grab this Cherry on Top from Milani. Just get a little bit more on the cheek to kind of balance everything out. So hopefully you will pull out some of your products and use some of your underused, unloved things. So the mower. I think that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this look. I hope you will consider subscribing. And thank you guys for the 100 subscribers mark. I'm so excited. I mean, it seems silly, but this was something I started on a whim, and it's like, you know, I'm having a lot of fun just making stuff. And to know that anybody, like even one person is watching it is crazy. And to think that there's like 100 people that hit subscribe for this is like, okay, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I hope you will consider subscribing if you haven't already. Have a great day.